High Admiral Vexthor stood before the massive observation window of the Meridian command vessel Eternal Dawn, his crystalline form refracting the starlight as he studied the blue planet below. Earth, as its inhabitants called it, hung suspended in the void like a jewel, beautiful, precious, and completely oblivious to its impending fate. "The harvest protocol is ready for implementation, High Admiral," announced First Observer Naira, her metallic voice echoing through the chamber. "Our analysis confirms that the humans remain precisely as primitive as our initial surveys indicated 3 centuries ago." Vexthor's crystalline structure pulsed with a deep azure glow, a sign of satisfaction among the Meridian collective. For over 300 years, they had watched Earth from the dark side of its moon, their advanced cloaking technology rendering them invisible to the primitive scanning devices humans called telescopes and satellites. "Show me their current technological status," Vexthor commanded, his voice resonating through the crystalline chamber. The air before him shimmered as holographic displays materialized, showing various aspects of human civilization. Crude combustion vehicles crawled along their roads. Primitive aircraft wobbled through their atmosphere. Inefficient rocket systems struggled to reach low orbit with tiny payloads. "They still rely on chemical propulsion," Naira reported, her own crystalline form glowing with the amber hue of analytical focus. "Their most advanced computers use binary systems. Their weapons remain largely kinetic. Their energy production is catastrophically inefficient." "And their political structure?" Vexthor inquired, though he already knew the answer. The Meridians had watched human civilization long enough to understand its fractured nature. "Still divided into nation-states, High Admiral. They compete for resources, wage wars over ideology, and fail to achieve any meaningful unity. They follow the typical pattern of pre-harvest civilizations." Vexthor moved closer to the window, his crystalline legs creating subtle chimes as they contacted the deck. The Meridian collective had harvested dozens of worlds like Earth, young civilizations with abundant resources, but insufficient advancement to protect themselves. It was, in their view, the natural order of the cosmos. Advanced civilizations had not just the right, but the obligation to guide the universe's resources toward their most efficient use. "Begin the preliminary harvest sequence," Vexthor commanded. "Standard protocol. Disable their satellite network, neutralize their primitive defensive capabilities, and establish resource collection points at strategic locations." The command center hummed with activity as crystalline crew members interfaced with the ship's systems. The Meridian Harvest Fleet, 5,000 ships strong, began to emerge from their lunar hiding place, their black crystal hulls absorbing nearly all light, making them appear as voids against the star-filled background. "High Admiral," Naira suddenly called out, her tone carrying an unusual harmonic. "We're detecting some anomalous energy signatures from the planet's surface." Vexthor turned his attention to the new data streams. Indeed, there were strange energy fluctuations emanating from various points around the globe. They were subtle, barely detectable even with Meridian technology, but they were definitely there. "Analysis," he demanded. "Inconclusive," Naira responded. "The signatures are too weak to classify, but they don't match any known human technology in our database." Vexthor's crystalline structure flickered with brief uncertainty, but he dismissed the concern. In 3 centuries of observation, they had never seen humans demonstrate any technological capability that could threaten a Meridian harvest fleet. These anomalous readings were likely just atmospheric phenomena or errors in their sensing equipment. "Proceed with the harvest protocol," he commanded. "Launch the first wave of collection vessels." As the first 1,000 ships of the Meridian fleet began their descent toward Earth's atmosphere, none of them noticed the subtle changes taking place on the planet's surface. In facilities hidden deep underground, in bunkers beneath mountains, and in secret bases under the oceans, humanity's carefully prepared defensive systems began to power up. The Meridians had indeed been watching Earth for 3 centuries. What they didn't know was that Earth had been watching them back for the last 50 years. And humanity had been preparing, not just with technology, but with a unity so secret that even most humans didn't know it existed. The Harvest Fleet continued its approach, their black crystal ships reflecting nothing, absorbing everything. They were the perfect predators, developed over millennia of technological evolution. They had never failed in a harvest operation. They had never encountered meaningful resistance from a pre-spacefaring civilization. But then again, they had never tried to harvest Earth. As the first wave of ships entered the atmosphere, Vexthor allowed himself to experience the harmonic resonance of anticipated success. In a few hours, Earth's resources would begin flowing into the Meridian Collective's vast storage networks. The humans would be relocated to reservation zones, as was standard protocol for harvested species. Everything would proceed according to plan, just as it had dozens of times before. That was when the first anomalous energy signature suddenly spiked, and a beam of coherent energy, technology that humans shouldn't have had for at least another century, lanced up from the surface and carved one of his ships in half. Director Sarah Chen stood in the Global Defense Command Center, buried 2 kilometers beneath the Himalayan mountains. The massive holographic display showed thousands of black crystalline ships entering Earth's atmosphere. To most of humanity, this would be the first sign that aliens existed. But for Sarah and the select few who had known the truth, this was the moment they had spent decades preparing for. All defensive grids online, reported Colonel James Rodriguez, his fingers dancing across the quantum interface console. 50 years of preparation, and we're about to find out if it was enough. Sarah watched as the alien ships, the Meridians, as Earth's deep space surveillance had identified them, continued their arrogant descent. They had no idea that their supposedly perfect observation of Earth had been compromised decades ago, when a young radio astronomer detected the subtle quantum fluctuations from their cloaking technology. Status of Operation Mirror Shield? Sarah asked, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. All installations reporting ready, answered Dr. Elena Petrov from her station. The reverse-engineered crystal tech is stable. Power signatures are masked exactly as simulated. That had been humanity's greatest breakthrough, discovering that the crystalline technology of their watchers could be replicated using Earth's own resources. It had taken 30 years of secret research, but they had done it. The world's nations, despite their public conflicts and apparent divisions, had worked together in absolute secrecy. First contact in 30 seconds, announced Rodriguez. Meridian vessels approaching primary targets. Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. The aliens thought they were targeting Earth's major cities and military installations. In reality, they were flying right into carefully prepared kill zones. Execute Protocol Alpha, she commanded. Let's show our visitors what humanity is really capable of. Across the globe, hidden defensive systems activated. In the Australian outback, massive crystalline arrays that had been disguised as natural rock formations began to pulse with energy. Beneath the Amazon rainforest, quantum particle accelerators spun up to full power. In the depths of the oceans, facilities that had been monitoring the meridians for decades prepared their countermeasures. The first Meridian ship to fall was over Beijing. A concentrated beam of their own crystalline technology, refined and improved by human innovation, sliced through their supposedly impenetrable shields. The ship's black crystal structure shattered, its pieces raining down into carefully prepared containment fields. Multiple direct hits confirmed, Rodriguez reported, his voice tight with controlled excitement. Meridian vessels showing confusion in their formation. They're attempting to regroup. More beams lanced up from Earth's surface. The Meridian's perfect formations began to break apart as ship after ship discovered that their technology they had considered unbeatable, was being turned against them. Their command ship is moving, Dr. Petrov announced. Energy readings suggest they're charging primary weapons. Right on schedule, Sarah nodded. This was the moment their simulations had predicted, the moment when the Meridians would abandon their harvest protocol and switch to full military engagement. Execute Protocol Beta. Around the world, The second phase of Earth's defense plan activated. What appeared to be normal satellites suddenly shed their disguises, revealing advanced weapon platforms based on Meridian technology. The aliens had been so focused on watching Earth's surface that they had never thought to analyze the primitive satellites in detail. "Ma'am," Rodriguez called out, "we're detecting quantum communication bursts from the Meridian command ship. They appear to be calling for reinforcements. They're starting to realize this isn't going to be the easy harvest they expected." Sarah replied, "Dr. Petrov, status of the quantum entanglement disruptors. All arrays charged and ready, awaiting your command." Sarah took a deep breath. This was the moment of truth. Humanity's most ambitious technological achievement, developed in secret over decades. They had discovered that the Meridian's quantum communication network had a fundamental vulnerability, one that the aliens had never protected against because they had never encountered a species capable of exploiting it. "Execute Protocol Gamma," she ordered. Across Earth's surface and in orbit, specially designed quantum disruptors activated. The technology was an elegant fusion of human theoretical physics and reversed engineered Meridian crystal tech. The effect was immediate. The Meridian fleet's perfect coordination suddenly collapsed as their quantum communication network dissolved into chaos. "Quantum disruption successful," Dr. Petrov reported. "Their fleet is now operating on isolated protocols. Coordinated defense is impossible for them." Sarah watched the tactical display as the Meridian ships, cut off from their command structure and facing weapons they had never imagined possible, began to fall one by one. Humanity had spent 50 years preparing for this moment, developing countermeasures for every Meridian technology they had observed. "New energy signature from their command vessel," Rodriguez warned. "They're charging something big. They're about to learn another lesson about humanity." Sarah said, her eyes fixed on the display. "We don't just adapt to technology, we improve it. Activate the quantum mirrors." As the Meridian command ship prepared to unleash its most powerful weapon, dozens of hidden platforms around Earth activated. They had been designed for exactly this moment, using principles of quantum reflection that the Meridians themselves had never fully explored. The alien vessel fired, its energy weapon powerful enough to crack a continent. But instead of destroying Earth's defenses, the beam was caught, redirected, and reflected back by the quantum mirror array. The Meridian command ship had just enough time to register what was happening before it was struck by its own weapon, its crystalline structure shattering into a million glittering pieces. "Command ship destroyed," Rodriguez confirmed. "Remaining Meridian vessels are beginning emergency quantum jumps. They're retreating." Sarah nodded slowly, watching as the alien ships flood Earth's space. They had won this battle. But she knew it was only the beginning. The Meridians would return, and they would bring their full military might next time. But humanity would be ready. They had already proven they could match and exceed Meridian technology. And now, they had captured samples of advanced alien tech to study. Earth's defenses would be even stronger when the Meridians returned. "Send the signal to all facilities," she ordered. "Begin Phase 2 of planetary defense preparation. We have work to do." Supreme Overseer Zixful of the Meridian Collective felt his crystalline form vibrate with barely contained rage as he reviewed the battle footage for the 100th time. The humans, the primitive, fractured, technologically inferior humans, had not only repelled their harvest fleet, but had done so using modified Meridian technology. "Explain to me," he resonated to the gathered High Council, their crystalline forms reflecting the harsh light of the council chamber, "how a pre-space-faring civilization managed to replicate and improve our technology without detection." High Admiral Vexthor, his usually pristine crystal structure still showing stress fractures from the battle, projected his response carefully. "The humans deceived us, Overseer. They detected our presence decades ago and prepared in secret. They unified their civilization beneath a carefully maintained facade of division." "Impossible," countered Council Member Krytax, her crystal matrix pulsing red with dismissal. "Our observation protocols are perfect. We have harvested dozens of worlds and never encountered anything like humanity. Vex Thor interrupted, projecting recordings from the battle. Look at how they adapted our crystalline technology. They didn't just copy it. They understood its fundamental principles and improved upon them. The quantum disruption field they deployed. We never even theorized such an application was possible. On Earth, the mood in the Global Defense Command was tense but focused. Sarah Chen studied the latest intel from their quantum probe network, a web of advanced sensors carefully hidden throughout the solar system. The Meridians were regrouping, and their next move would determine humanity's response. Fleet status, she asked, turning to Admiral Marcus Wong, who had just arrived from the Pacific Defense Command. Our reverse-engineered vessels are performing beyond expectations, Wong reported, bringing up a holographic display of Earth's first true space fleet. The crystal fusion drives are operating at 130% of theoretical efficiency. The engineers say it's because we approached the technology from a completely different theoretical framework than the Meridians. The ships in the display were unlike anything humanity had ever built before, a perfect fusion of human innovation and adapted alien technology. Where Meridian ships were purely crystalline, Earth's vessels combined crystal tech with traditional materials in ways the aliens had never considered, creating hybrid systems that exceeded the capabilities of either approach alone. The Meridians made a fundamental mistake, Dr. Petrov added, joining the conversation. They assumed that because we hadn't developed their specific technologies, we were technologically inferior. They never considered that we might have developed along different lines, leading to unique insights when we finally accessed their tech. Sarah nodded. That had been humanity's greatest advantage, their ability to think differently, to see possibilities that the Meridians, for all their advancement, had missed. Where the aliens had pursued pure crystal technology to its logical extremes, humans had found ways to combine it with other approaches, creating something entirely new. New quantum signatures detected, Rodriguez announced from his station. Massive fleet movements in the Oort cloud. The Meridians are mobilizing their main battle groups. As expected, Sarah replied calmly. They're too rigid in their thinking to consider retreat. They'll try to overwhelm us with numbers, assuming that's all they need. She turned to Admiral Wong. Is the Prometheus protocol ready? Wong's expression was grim but determined. All units in position. If the Meridians follow their standard battle doctrine, and everything we know about them suggests they will, they'll play right into our hands. The Prometheus Protocol was humanity's most ambitious military strategy, a plan that relied not just on advanced technology, but on the Meridians' own psychological weaknesses. Their rigid thinking, their inability to adapt quickly to new situations, their absolute confidence in their superiority, all would be turned against them. New intelligence from the Quantum Probe Network, Dr. Petrov reported. The Meridian fleet. It's even larger than we anticipated. At least 20,000 ships. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. They still don't understand. They think this is about numbers and raw power. Show me the Harpy deployment status. A new hologram appeared, showing thousands of small points of light scattered throughout the solar system. The Harpies were another human innovation. Tiny, automated combat units that combined crystal tech with AI systems far more advanced than anything the Meridians had developed. Where the aliens relied on quantum-linked fleet coordination, each Harpy was capable of independent action while still working in perfect concert with its siblings. Harpy swarms report ready, Rodriguez confirmed. All 8 million units active and in position. 8 million Harpies against 20,000 capital ships, Sarah mused. The Meridians are about to learn another lesson about humanity. Sometimes the smallest opponents are the most dangerous. As if on cue, the quantum sensors detected the first wave of the Meridian battle fleet entering the solar system. Their formation was perfect, their strategy exactly as predicted by human analysts. The crystalline armada moved with the absolute confidence of a species that had never known true defeat. All commands, execute Prometheus Protocol. Sarah ordered, her voice carrying to defense stations throughout the solar system. Let's show the Meridians why humanity has survived everything our own world has thrown at us. The battle for Earth's survival was about to begin again. But this time, humanity wasn't just fighting to defend, they were fighting to win. And the Meridians were about to discover just how dangerous a primitive species could be when it had nothing left to lose and everything to fight for. The Meridian battle fleet emerged from quantum space in perfect formation, 20,000 crystalline ships arranged in a three-dimensional pattern that had won them countless victories across the galaxy. Supreme Overseer Zixval observed from his flagship, the Infinite Prism, as his armada prepared to teach humanity its final lesson. "Begin the attack pattern," he commanded. "Show these primitives the full might of the Meridian Collective." But in the void between Mars and Jupiter, something unexpected was happening. The 8 million Harpy units, each no larger than a human fighter jet, began to move. Unlike traditional military formations, they flowed like schools of fish, creating complex, ever-changing patterns that the Meridian targeting systems struggled to track. In Global Defense Command, Sarah Chen watched the battle unfold. "Initiate Phase 1, she ordered. "Let's see how their crystal ships handle our little surprises." The Harpy swarms accelerated, their hybrid drives pushing them to speeds that made the Meridian ships look sluggish in comparison. Each unit carried a specially designed quantum resonator, a device that exploited a fundamental weakness in crystal technology that the Meridians had never considered. First contact in 3, 2, 1. Rodriguez counted down. The Harpies struck. Instead of conventional weapons, they emitted precisely calibrated quantum frequencies. The effect on the Meridian ships was devastating. Their crystalline hulls, the pride of their civilization, began to vibrate at their resonant frequencies. Cracks appeared in their supposedly impervious armor. Impossible. Zixval's crystalline form pulsed with shock as reports flooded in. "Their weapons, they're using our own molecular structure against us." Multiple Meridian vessels experiencing critical structural failure, Dr. Petrov reported, her voice clinical but her eyes shining. "The quantum resonance cascade is exceeding all projections." The Meridian fleet's perfect formation began to break apart as ships tried to evade the Harpy swarms. But the human-designed units were relentless, their AI systems adapting in real time, predicting and countering every standard Meridian tactic. Admiral Wong stepped forward, his expression fierce. "Launch our capital ships. The Meridians are so focused on the Harpies, they haven't even noticed our fleet moving into position." From hidden bases throughout the asteroid belt, humanity's first true space fleet emerged. These ships were unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. Hybrid vessels that combined the best of human engineering with revolutionized crystal technology. Where Meridian ships were pure crystal, these vessels had crystalline cores surrounded by layers of advanced alloys and energy fields that the aliens had never conceived. "All ships, execute attack pattern Theta," Wong commanded. "Show them what human ingenuity can do." The Earth fleet struck from multiple vectors, their weapon systems taking advantage of the chaos caused by the Harpy swarms. Quantum-enhanced railguns fired projectiles at significant fractions of light speed. Modified crystal beams cut through the weakened Meridian shields like they weren't there. On the Infinite Prism, Zixval watched in horror as his perfect armada began to crumble. "How?" he demanded. "How are they defeating our most advanced technology?" "Because you never understood what makes humanity dangerous." Sarah's voice came through on all Meridian frequencies, their communication encryption broken hours ago. "You saw our divisions as weakness, our technological differences as primitive. You never realized that diversity, of thought, of approach, of innovation, is our greatest strength." The battle continued to unfold across the solar system. The Harpy swarms herded Meridian ships into killing zones where Earth's capital ships waited. The aliens tried to adapt, to change tactics, but centuries of rigid military doctrine had left them unable to innovate quickly enough. "Ma'am," Rodriguez called out, The Meridian fleet is attempting to regroup near Saturn. They're trying to establish a defensive formation. Sarah nodded. Just as the simulations predicted. They always fall back on established protocols when under pressure. She turned to Dr. Petrov. Deploy the Lightbringers. From bases hidden within Saturn's rings, a new weapon emerged. The Lightbringers were massive platforms that combined focused solar energy with quantum crystalline technology. As the Meridian fleet attempted to regroup, the platforms activated. The effect was spectacular. Beams of concentrated solar plasma, enhanced by crystal technology, lanced out at the Meridian ships. Their already stressed shields, designed to handle conventional energy weapons, failed completely against this hybrid approach. Meridian fleet suffering catastrophic losses, Wang reported, his voice tight with controlled excitement. Their formation is completely broken. They're starting to retreat. Sarah watched the tactical display as the mighty Meridian Armada, pride of their civilization, began to fall back in disarray. The Harpy swarms continued their relentless assault, their quantum resonators shattering crystal ships into clouds of glittering debris. Earth's capital ships pressed their advantage, their hybrid weapon systems proving that humanity had not just matched Meridian technology. They had surpassed it. Incoming transmission from the Meridian flagship, Rodriguez announced. They're requesting terms of surrender. A hush fell over the command center. After centuries of harvesting primitive civilizations, the mighty Meridian Collective was facing something they had never experienced before, defeat at the hands of a species they had dismissed as inferior. Sarah straightened her uniform and stepped forward. Put them through, she ordered. It's time to show them another human trait they never understood: mercy. 1 year after the Battle of Saturn, Sarah Chen stood in the newly constructed Galactic Assembly Chamber in Geneva, watching as crystalline Meridian representatives took their seats alongside human diplomats. The chamber itself was a testament to humanity's new status in the galaxy, a perfect fusion of Earth architecture and advanced crystal technology. It's still hard to believe sometimes, Admiral Wang said quietly, standing beside her. In just 1 year, we've gone from a primitive species to a major galactic power. The defeat of the Meridian Collective had sent shockwaves through the galaxy. Other spacefaring civilizations, who had long accepted Meridian supremacy, suddenly found themselves dealing with a new power, one that had not only defeated the Meridians, but had fundamentally changed the way crystal technology was understood. Supreme Overseer Zixful, his crystalline form noticeably more subdued than during the battle, approached the human delegation. Director Chen, he resonated softly. The Collective's Scientific Council has finished reviewing your latest proposals for crystal fusion technology. They are most impressive. Sarah nodded politely. After the surrender, humanity had shocked the Meridians again, not with weapons, but with mercy and cooperation. Instead of destroying or subjugating their former enemies, Earth had offered partnership. The Meridians, their rigid worldview shattered by defeat, had discovered that humans could be as innovative in peace as they were in war. The quantum resonance principles your engineers developed, Zixful continued, they've revolutionized our understanding of crystal mechanics, concepts that we considered immutable for millennia. Sometimes it takes a fresh perspective, Sarah replied. Humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to see things differently, to question established principles. The assembly chamber filled with representatives from across Earth and the former Meridian Empire. On the agenda today was the formation of a new interstellar alliance, one based not on conquest and harvesting, but on mutual benefit and shared innovation. Dr. Petrov approached with a data tablet, her eyes bright with excitement. The latest results from the Joint Research Initiative are in, she reported. The human Meridian scientific teams have successfully developed a new form of quantum communication. It's twice as efficient as the old Meridian network and completely immune to disruption. This was humanity's true victory, not just defeating the Meridians, but showing them a better way forward. Where the collective had stagnated, focused solely on perfecting their crystal technology, Humanity had demonstrated the power of combining different approaches, of thinking beyond established limits. "We're detecting quantum signatures at the edge of the solar system," Rodriguez reported from his security station. "3 vessels of unknown configuration." Sarah smiled. News of Earth's victory had spread quickly through the galaxy. Other civilizations, many of whom had their own reasons to resent Meridian dominance, were reaching out to humanity. Earth was becoming a beacon of innovation and change in a galaxy that had grown too comfortable with the status quo. "Standard greeting protocols," she ordered. "Let's show our new visitors what humanity and our allies can achieve together." In orbit above Earth, the combined human Meridian defense fleet stood ready. The ships were new designs, created through collaboration between human and Meridian engineers. They represented the best of both civilizations, the Meridian's mastery of crystal technology, enhanced by human innovation and adaptability. "The galaxy's changing," Wang observed, watching as the unknown ships approached. "And we're leading that change." "We are," Sarah agreed. "But not through conquest or harvesting. We're showing them a different way, one where diversity of thought and approach is celebrated, not suppressed." The harpy swarms, now integrated with Meridian crystal tech, formed elegant patterns around Earth's orbital installations. They were no longer just weapons, but symbols of how far both civilizations had come. The quantum resonators that had once shattered Meridian ships now powered new forms of communication and energy production. "The Collective's Education Council has formally requested human instructors," Zixfal announced, his crystal form pulsing with what humans had learned was enthusiasm. "Our younger generations are eager to learn your ways of thinking, your ability to see beyond established principles." Sarah watched as the unknown ships moved closer, their designs unlike anything seen before. Once, such visitors might have meant threat or invasion. Now they represented opportunity, new perspectives, new technologies, new ways of thinking to explore and integrate. "That's the real lesson we taught the galaxy," she said softly. "True advancement doesn't come from perfecting a single approach. It comes from being willing to question everything, to combine different ideas in new ways, to see possibilities where others see only established limits." The assembly chamber hummed with activity as representatives from Earth and the former Meridian Empire prepared to formalize their new alliance. But Sarah knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had earned its place among the stars not through conquest or technological superiority alone, but through their unique ability to innovate, adapt, and bring people together. The galaxy would never be the same. And that was exactly what humanity had been preparing for all along.